Hey there, everybody. This is Malwave. You will obviously notice, first of all, wrong side, that before I start, that I have a microphone. That is because my webcam does not like to record things. Like the internal mic on my laptop here would not seem to work, so essentially it sounds like I'm talking in a tunnel about 50 feet away from the actual microphone. So I'm just gonna grin and bear it. So if you don't like people wearing microphones, that's your problem. Durr. Anyways, I'm here for my first video review, and I figured why not start off with one of the worst figures I've ever seen in my life. And I guess you could kind of consider this, as it's going to be posted as a video response, one of my crappy toy review, or toy review of a crappy toy, as challenge posted by Time Lord. G1 Ironhide. Now, granted, some people say that it's not crappy. In my opinion, it is. Why? Well, because, you'll see in a few minutes here, but essentially, I feel it's a cheap knockout of the Microman series. Man, I don't know what's going on. It's just like, idea, 2-second pause, comes out. Anyways, so, without any further ado, let's get into the review of this thing. And we are back in hand mode, and obviously you can see my chest. It's going to change because currently I don't have my tripod for my digital camera to record, so we're just going to have to sit with this. Now, anyways, getting right into it, the first thing I hate about this vehicle mode is the fact that its blaster is stored underneath. Essentially, you put it down on the table, it spins. It's not really that accurate. So the first thing that sucks is that you got to take the blaster off. My apologies if this is off screen, because my computer laptop's facing down. I can barely see the screen. But I digress. Essentially, you would lose this thing because my G1 Ironhide, where is it? There it is. You would lose this thing because my G1 Ironhide didn't come with the missiles and the blaster. And if you think the blaster's hard to lose, here's the missile. Yeah, that's really easy to keep track of, folks. Anyways, Ironhide's vehicle mode in itself rolls quite well without the blaster underneath. Rubber tires. It's designed to be a Chevy Vanette, which I can see. I just love the detail on this thing. You can see his robot mode head, if I can get it close enough to the camera. You can see the robot mode head slightly, but otherwise I really like it. I just absolutely love this vehicle mode. And this is probably the only part of the robot that I like. The rest of it is crap. Now, this is supposed to be a crappy toy, however, not necessarily the vehicle mode. The vehicle mode isn't necessarily a bad part of the figure. It could be what's hiding in it that is. So without further ado, we shall move on to the robot mode. Alright, and now as you can tell, we have Ironhide in his robot mode. Now, tell me if this does not scream, holy crap, I am a bad toy. Right there. That is G1 Ironhide. No head, no possible way of showing his resemblance to his show character. I mean, here's Universe Ironhide. Oh, get him in the actual angle, you can see his face. There's Universe Ironhide. Now compare him to this. Which one would you say is actually Ironhide? If I didn't tell you who this was, which one would you say was which one was Ironhide? Most people would pick this, unless you're a real Transformers nerd and you would know exactly what toy this was. Anyways, aside from me griping, let's just continue on with the review. Articulation. Articulation is horrible. Now, oh, I forgot to mention one thing. I do scores for each. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but I score each of the sections of vehicle mode. Whoa, wrong hand. Vehicle mode, articulation, gimmick, and fun factor. I forgot to tell the score I gave for the vehicle mode. Vehicle mode gets 24 because it's just the best part of the entire figure. But I digress. Let's keep going. Articulation-wise, his arm can rotate 360 degrees and can move in and out. Now, not as bad, not as good as some of the articulation that I've seen on some other toys, but considering that there's a toy, like, for example, a video I saw recently, Machine Wars Optimus Prime, his arms just move up and down. Ironhide, G1 Ironhide, has more articulation than that figure. So, Ironhide does get some credit, so I'm going to score his articulation at about a 15 out of 25. Just saying, because he has this added accordion mode that allows his hand to move in and out. Why that's important, I really don't know. Buttons. Gimmick. Now for the gimmick. Folks, I'll just set Ironhide over aside. This is Ironhide's gimmick. A battle sled. I wish I was making this up. First things first. His blaster would usually fit in here. I'm missing a little piece off of it, so it doesn't sit properly in there, and I just dropped it. So that's there. You've got this missile launcher, which has these missiles. First thing you do, you actually have to press this red trigger button here to insert the missile into the actual launcher. And when you press it, now most of you would be assuming this is a spring-loaded missile launcher, and this missile should be firing. This is not a spring-loaded missile launcher. This is the extent of what it does. You press it down, and if you shake it enough, it'll fall out. So essentially, you have a battle sled which doesn't do much. You have a missile launcher that doesn't even fire, and you have a blaster on the front that's about as good as it gets. Really, this is just a cheap excuse. Not to mention the whole hidden base mode is being done by so many figures. Well, okay, 2, but that's aside from the point. I'm scoring his gimmick at a 13 because, frankly, again, it's not horrible. It's not like completely horrible like some gimmicks, but I wish Hasbro could have at least done something. Like, at least if they had the spring-loaded missile launcher, that would have made it a little better. But now for fun factor. Oh, fun factor. This one is actually quite surprising. I'm scoring his fun factor at about a 17. Why, you ask? Well, because Ironhide, while being completely horrible to us older kids, to a child, this is an easy transformer. I mean, this is the extent of his transformation. There. That's half the vehicle mode right there. Just fold that battle sled up and you have a toy. So, if you were a kid, this would be a nice, easy transformer to have. So I would say, wouldn't you at least want to have something that's easy to play with? So, that's why he gets 17. Because while being a horrible toy, he is easy to transform. So, in general, out of a total score of 100, I give G1 Ironhide a 68 out of 100. Now, granted, his fun factor was okay, and I do really just hate this figure, but he's starting to grow on me a tiny bit. And while I did pay $10 for him, at one point, I figured, hey, it's cool to have Ironhide in my collection. Now that I have him, I think I prefer the Universe version. But again, it's my own opinion, and I'm not going to just destroy this toy because I hate it. I have it, it's in my collection, and I'm proud to have it in my collection. So, until next time, this is Malwave, signing off. See you later, folks.